So let's cover distractions and focus today. What I want to talk about is how people feel like they can't focus and they don't understand why, but yet they don't understand what it is that's keeping them from completing tasks and completing goals and making progress. So, what catches a lot of people up are these minor distractions that people don't pay attention to. Now, when you feel uncomfortable, you tend to go to something that makes you comfortable, i.e., something like maybe looking at your phone to see if there's a text message, even though you did not get a signal or a notification that there's a text message. So you look at your phone, you check your time on your watch, you check your phone for your text messages, maybe you check your email, something that gives you this instant gratification. Now, when you get this instant gratification, it's hard to refocus and put your energy back into your work. So this is causing a major problem, and this is distracting people. So I want to explain a few different techniques that you can use to keep yourself from cluttering your mind and getting distracted so that you can be more focused. Now, the thing is about focus is a skill while attention is like a muscle. So you need to work on your attention ability and strengthen it so that you can increase this focus skill. So, how we do this is we start with figuring out what our distractions are and limiting them. So on our phones, of course, and our cell phones and our computers and our social media, we get all kinds of different notifications. And the notifications come across as, say, like a chime or a sound that notifies you that you have a new message, or someone liked a comment, or someone sent an email, things of that nature. So what you can do is go into your settings in your iPhone or your Android and turn off those notifications so that they don't show up. Therefore, it doesn't pull you from the work that you're currently doing, and you can focus on your priorities. So go into your phones and turn those notifications off, and that's one step there. Make sure that you also don't get that from your computers. Turning off the notifications is a big step in this. So once you don't hear that, because even if you don't respond to the phone, you might get distracted. It might take you from the moment. It takes your mind somewhere else. So if you're focusing on a project or you're focusing on something that you're currently doing, even you're reading, something like that, what your mind is going to do is it's going to hear that chime and it's going to say, I wonder what that is. I wonder what that could be. I wonder if that's important. And make you think of something else, because it's going to start to think of what that chime could be connected to. And it's going to pull your focus down. Even if it pulls your focus down to a smaller level, it's going to mean that you're going to get less done in maybe more time. So if you spend more time on a project, you might still get less done if you're continuously distracted. That's why they say that in a workday, an average work person will get 3 to 4 hours of actual work done out of an 8 or 9 hour day, because of all of the distractions, because of the socializing with people, checking our phones, checking texts, checking Facebook, checking our email, and checking other social media platforms, and that pulls you away from it. So taking the notifications off, that's a big step in it. That will help a lot. That will make you more productive. And if you don't believe it, then just try it and see. And if that's not even good enough for you because you're so drawn to your phone, put your phone somewhere else or turn your phone off. These are two things. If you can't reach them, for example, can't reach your phone, then there you go. When I was first writing my book, I let everybody know that during this one particular week when I was at this threshold of, where I wanted this book to go, and I was just so ambitious about finishing these couple of chapters and so motivated to make sure that it happened and to make sure nothing else distracted me, I turned my phone off for an entire week, and I turned my computer off for an entire week, and I let people know, I'm fine, I'm writing this book during this week, I'm coming through my breakthrough, very important in the center of this novel, and I need to accomplish this. So I turned it off. I was disconnected, but I got my work done. And I got more work done than I actually expected too. So it turned out quite well to get away from those distractions. Because you can tell yourself that you're addicted or you can't get away from it, but the truth is you can if you just build some discipline towards preventing yourself from taking those measures of answering those text messages or emails or things like that. You can set your schedule. So set your schedule so that you only allow yourself to maybe check your emails twice a day. Also set your schedule so when you start your day, you jump into what you're supposed to be doing, or you start your day on a productive note so that you can continue with that momentum throughout the day. Make sure that your priorities are set and that you have a to-do list and a goal list of the things that you're trying to accomplish throughout that day or even throughout that week. But make sure that your day is scheduled. And during certain blocks that you have written down, make sure that you put your focus into what that is. So if your focus is supposed to be on you're going to write during this hour, or you're going to do the scheduling during this hour, or you're going to do the budget or the finances during this particular hour, that block is for that. So you have to get away from the distractions and then recognize which distractions are pulling you away from what you're supposed to be doing. So turn off the notifications. Stay away from your email. Schedule that for twice a day. Stay away from, communicating with people and socializing. Let them know that you can't be distracted because you have to get these things done and you don't want to ruin your progress or your momentum, Maybe you should be paying attention to your environment as well, where you're actually getting work done, because there might be a lot of distractions there, and sometimes we can't control that. But, if we're in a work environment, maybe we can put headphones on so people know that we're unavailable. Maybe we can turn our cell phone off, or maybe we can pick a different location for our environment. And if you really want to be productive, of course, and you're in a career set job, get in there an hour earlier and leave an hour later, so you're away from the distractions, and then maybe you're there before people come and you get momentum going and you get started, and it's going to feel good. Instead of taking the instant gratification, you can take yourself into this productive measure that puts you on track to satisfy yourself in a way where you're accomplishing bigger goals and you're seeing the bigger picture. That's all part of bigger picture thinking, of course, is thinking about what's most important and striving to get there. Now, some people will get overwhelmed by looking at the big picture directly. That's why I always tell people, here's what you want to do. You want to break down that bigger picture. Like, you want to go for the big goal, but at the same time, find the smaller elements of it and work your way into it, do smaller tasks, towards completing that goal. And if you do that, you are completing parts of the goal and you're moving closer to it. So that gives you the gratification that you need, and that makes you comfortable from self-satisfaction, right? So when things are not good and they're not going well in your day, like I said, sometimes we go directly to our phones and we go directly to an email, or even worse, we turn on the TV or we spend more time watching the TV. So you want to move, when you're being productive, away from items like that, technology that's getting in your way, the television. You should probably be doing your work outside of the television room, unless you're doing extra work and you're combining. But here's the thing. If you're trying to multitask by doing work on your computer and watching television, it's not going to work right, because you have to give a percentage of your attention to the television. You have to give a percentage of the rest of the attention that you have left over to your work or to your laptop that you're working on, for example, and then you're dividing that. So you're going to get half done, maybe, but it depends, because the TV can be so distracting that you might get 10% of your work done and the TV gets 90%. So you think you're multitasking, but you're not. You're not doing two things at once in equal value. You are breaking them into pieces. So maybe do away from the TV. Get away from that and set your time for that. Set your schedule, set your goals, set your task list, set your priorities. If you can get out, maybe you can get out and you can do some meditation. Now, meditation can help declutter your mind, help get all those distracting things, and help you increase your focus, because you can sit there and meditate, and the more you meditate, the better your focus gets, because you're used to clearing your mind. And that's part of the most important thing in this process, is learning how to clear your mind. That's why also in your work environment, it's important to declutter your desk. Not have distracting pictures and magazines and papers and everything laying around. Make sure it's clean and organized. Same thing with your computer. Make sure there's not pictures on your desktop and documents and everything all distracting you in every which way, and your focus and energy and vision go all different things and pick different words into your brain. When you focus, you want to focus on the topic. You want to focus on what's really important in that part of the day. And that's how your focus builds. Now, it's going to get easier on a regular basis. It's going to be easier to declutter your mind. It's going to be easier to get away from distractions. And it's going to be easier to train your focus. Now, all of this is like a skill, like I said, and your attention is like a muscle. So learning to focus your attention, building that muscle, increases the skill of focus. So keep those time wasters away from you and make sure that your schedule is pretty tight. Now, of course, I understand, as happens to me regularly, that things do come out of the blue and they do pull our attention away. Things just happen in general. So if you're building a schedule, what you want to do is just leave some time for the unexpected, and not too much. You can get better at this as you go, and you can revamp your schedule and continue to see what works best. You might want to figure out what your best times are for being creative. Maybe in the afternoon you're more creative. Maybe at night you're more hardworking. Everybody kind of has these differences in between their schedule of what works best for them. So I'm not telling you directly how to design your schedule. That's up to you. But it's important to design a schedule that does work for you, but also allows you to be focused and productive and doesn't take away from these hours in your day and distract you.